I get it. When you're looking at a new water heater, you've probably already seen a handful of cheap, budget tankless units on the shelf, and the stories you hear about them are all the same. They promise endless hot water. Then you end up standing under a lukewarm trickle while you wait for the heater to actually fire up. That hesitation is real, and it's easy to feel like you're rolling the dice on something you can't see under the house. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I'm trying to figure out today is whether the Rinnai RSC199eP Smart-Circ can actually be that smarter by that avoids the usual regret, or if it's just another shiny piece of hardware that looks great on paper but leaves you wishing you'd stuck with the old tank. First off, the biggest worry most homeowners have is the upfront cost and the complexity of installation. A tankless system isn't a plug-and-play appliance. You need proper gas line sizing, venting, and sometimes a dedicated electrical circuit for the control board. Rinnai makes it clear that professional installation is recommended, and that's not just a sales line, it's a real safety issue, especially with propane. If you're the type who enjoys DIY projects but isn't a licensed plumber or gas technician, you'll probably want to budget for a pro. That upfront expense can push the total price well above $3,000, which is why many people hesitate and end up buying a cheaper electric or low BTU gas model that can't keep up with a family of 4. Now, let's talk about what the RSC199eP actually brings to the table once it's installed. The headline number is 199,000 BTU, which translates to a flow rate of up to 11 gallons per minute under ideal conditions. In my own house, 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, plus a separate laundry sink, that means you can run a shower in the master while the dishwasher is on the other side of the house, and still have hot water at a comfortable temperature. In real life, that's a huge convenience because you're not forced into a one-shower-at-a-time schedule the way you would with a small electric tankless unit. One of the features that sets this Rinnai apart is the Smart-Circ intelligent recirculation system. Traditional recirculation loops require a pump that runs continuously, eating electricity and adding to your utility bill. Smart-Circ, on the other hand, uses a sensor-driven algorithm that only activates the pump when it detects demand, like when you turn on a tap or start a shower. For families who hate the cold water first moment, this can shave off a minute or 2 of waiting time, and it does so without the constant humming of a pump. In a practical sense, it feels like the water is already there, ready to go, which is a subtle but noticeable quality of life upgrade. Energy efficiency is another big selling point. The unit is ENERGY STAR qualified with a uniform energy factor of 0.112, meaning it uses less fuel to deliver the same amount of hot water compared to older models. That translates into real savings on your propane bill, especially during the winter months when you're taking longer showers. It's not a magic trick. If you dramatically increase your hot water usage, you'll still see higher fuel consumption, but the efficiency gains are there if you're replacing a traditional tank that's been burning fuel 24/7. Of course, no product is perfect. The most common practical weakness of an outdoor-mounted gas tankless heater is the exposure to weather. Rinnai's enclosure is weather-resistant, but in extremely cold climates you'll notice a slight dip in recovery time because the incoming water temperature is lower. I've seen a few owners in northern states install a small insulated cover or place the unit in a sheltered nook to mitigate this, and it's a relatively low-cost tweak. Another point to consider is the noise level. When the unit is firing at full 199 kBTU, you'll hear a faint whoosh as the gas ignites and a low hum from the recirculation pump. It's not loud enough to be disruptive, but if you're planning to mount it right next to a patio or a bedroom window, you might want to factor in a little sound-dampening material. So, who should actually buy the Rinnai RSC199eP? If you have a medium to large household that uses multiple hot water sources at the same time, and you're comfortable with a professional installation, this heater makes a lot of sense. It shines for homeowners who have already moved to propane for other appliances and want to keep everything on the same fuel source. It also works well for people who are tired of the cold splash when they step into the shower after a night's sleep. The recirculation system eliminates that annoyance without running a pump all day. On the flip side, if you live alone or in a small apartment where a single shower and a sink are the only hot water demands, you might be over-engineering your solution. A smaller, lower BTU gas unit or even a high-efficiency electric tankless model could